All right, we are live. Yay. All right. Ew, hi. So, thank all of you for attending, and those of you who will watch this later, thank you very much. The more often you watch it, you'll catch what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and there's a lot to say, so I'm going to be teaching the Dharma. The Dharma is a really big subject, and it's not part of the human process of education, so I've got a lot to teach. Yeah. And one of the key things in the process of the Dharma is to teach people about God. Yeah. And this is an image of God's manifestation. That right there. That's an image of God's manifestation. Yeah. This is Shambhala. This is the Lord of the world. Yeah. This is the place in which higher evolution takes place, where masters come in to take an initiation and become what they are inside of humanity. And it all comes from what you see in those 7 dots, the 7 round circles, or the 7 rays. And that shows you how God is nothing. Just what it is. It is what it is. And what it is a science. Yeah? And that science that comes from God is the mind of God with the intention to create the law of love. Yeah, in a place that's chaotic, has no love whatsoever, but everybody calls it love. Yeah, and there's no love at all. All there is actually hate and small aspects of lesser hate, but it is all hate. Yeah, and so with this, what you're looking at is the initiations, and you see on the bottom it says the 6th initiation. 6th initiation. That's Jesus the Christ. That's the office of the Christ. Yeah, and that's where the hierarchy hangs out. That's where, when Christ is incarnated, which is constant, yeah, then in every life Christ grows and develops and takes charge of the office of the Christ. You see it in the Dalai Lama. You see it in the Panchen Lama. You see it in Tibet. Yeah. Well, this is the same thing, except that this is the head of it. Yeah, and it's the Christ, and it's the 6th initiation. That 6th initiation creates the process for all the rest of the hierarchy to learn from the Christ under the influence of the Lord of the world. Yeah, so you see above that, you see the dot down on the bottom. That's the Christ, the office of the Christ. It's a level of initiation, not a person. It's a level of initiation. Yeah. And it's at that level Christ realizes and has full and complete function of being a bodhisattva, choosing earth's service, making manifest one of 7 choices. And one of those is the heart. One of those is love. One of those is the path of the bodhisattva that continually reincarnates until all beings evolve into that same path without there being another choice. That choice is made by Christ. That way, we don't go through chaos anymore. We don't get fallen angels. We don't get lunar lords. We don't get anything like that. Yeah? Because Christ is now holding an office, which means anybody who wants to mess around is judged before they get here. Way before they get here. Way before. So then there's this other level. And that's where you see on the top there, you see the Christ again. But this is the lower level of what the Christ is effected in the process of judgment, in the process of evolution, the process that no evil will enter heaven. None. Not a drop, not an essence, not a thought, not any form whatsoever. It will be cleansed, purified, eliminated, literally, through the initiations. So as you can see, this goes all the way down to the bottom. You see the 2nd initiation. Well, below that is the 1st initiation. Yeah, and below that is animals and human beings. Yeah, so that's like a pinpoint. You know, this is really big up here in heaven. These higher initiations, all the galaxies and the universes and the masters and the Buddhas and the realms of reality that does exist, you know, to the Christ, but not to humanity. This is all what? Planets? Maybe I should go there, you know? I mean, when you're dumb, you think dumb. You do dumb things, you know? You try and do things that are not going to happen. Yeah, they're not going to happen. Yeah? So it's in these initiations that a process of transfiguration of the physical human body takes place. Transfiguration. Yeah? It starts off with 2 legs and 2 more legs, which is a freaking animal. Yeah? And it works its way into 2 legs with 2 arms. And that becomes subhuman. And then it's standing upright. And it's starting to think. And it's eating within the kingdom below it, in the animal kingdom. And it's serving on earth through survival, through instincts and intuition. Yeah? But this becomes Cro-Magnon man and other forms of man. Yeah? Evolving, slowly but surely, kind of like a Darwinian thing. Yeah? But it's purification. It doesn't allow the beast into heaven. It purifies it by the time it gets to the first initiation. By the time it gets to the first initiation, all of these masters up here start wielding powers on top of the first initiation. And they completely destroy the human being. Completely destroy it. Yeah. That didn't sound good. But it's what we got. It's what really happens. And in that, the human being, you know, here we are in the process of the human being. We look at this one. Let me get rid of that bottom one. There we go. So here we have the process of the first initiation or second initiation going into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But then we have below that, we have the second initiation and the first initiation, which is where the animal man comes from. And you might want to reconsider your position on this planet. Yeah? You might want to really consider your ego's getting a little bit too big. And you think you're God. Yeah? You think you're masters over animals, over human beings, over matter. Yeah? And you destroy this earth over and over and over again through your imperil, through your beastly, hateful qualities. A lack of compassion. Yeah? And it's just the animal kingdom making its way up through the animal man. And that animal man goes up into this what's known as humanity. Humanity. And that's the level of the first initiation. Literally. You know? When you take body and you come out the womb and you get walking around, you go to school and you put your clothes on and you brush your teeth and you get toilet paper and you know how to wipe your butt properly without getting diseases. All these things get worked out down here in humanity. In humanity. Yeah? Because the Christ makes manifest as mother matter. Active intelligence. Yeah? The Christ wields the energy down into matter and blesses it, giving it a brand new body, a brand new form, a brand new way of looking at life itself. Yeah? It changes everything, and it builds what's known as the 7 ray chakras inside this human being that comes from animal man. Yeah? That only had 3 chakras before, you know? And it wasn't very smart, but it did its best, you know? But it's way up here in the 5th initiation and the 3rd initiation that people can build pyramids. Yeah? And Angkor Wat in India and all the things we've done in the past. So all of these initiations are present on earth in our history. They're there. But we have to practice Buddhism, because through Buddhism, you actually learn about relics. You learn about relics. Yeah. We have no idea that relics have any importance whatsoever. People are so stupid, so in hate, that they go to relic positions, like the Anasazi, or they go to the Aztecs or the Mayans, and they go in there and they go, oh, these are so holy. These people are just so holy. Come to find out they're cannibals. They sacrifice people and children. They eat them. Yeah? They drink their blood and eat their hearts. Yeah? Yeah, it is not uncommon in the age of darkness. When humanity is not a part of sacredness, and when they get to a sacred site that might have been sacred 3,000 years ago when the Mayans first got there, and they didn't build those temples. When they got there, their evil and their corruption, they're wanting gold and steal other people from other tribes, rip them off, steal from them, be corrupt, lie to them, and get away with it. And then go to demigods and have all kinds of witches and warlocks pressuring you to do more evil. Because now you're serving the gods. And those gods are devils. They're not real gods. Because remember, we're down here in animal man, pulling up from terrestrial animal levels, which is the beast. And the spirits that are down there are there inside of our avarice, our anxiety, our fear, all of the things that we've been tortured for, that we died and we suffered. All of that purges off into the earth. So imagine you do these sacrifices at temples, and it creates all this impression. It creates hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of years of people who will channel delusionary ways of thinking and not be able to represent or see what is good or evil. They can't tell the difference between a sacred site and an unsacred site. They actually start thinking that the Empire State Building is a freaking holy site. You just think stupid thoughts like that. And you think, oh, New York is a holy place. It's got such tall buildings, like temples everywhere. It's like heaven. Just so stupid. So stupid. Because in our avarice, we justify everything. We delusion in the glamour of it. And we're being told by these inhuman characteristics that are making this world in the material way that it's being made. Whether we're being forced to buy pickup trucks and cars and this and that and guns because we reincarnated. And our dads were assholes. And they were in the military. And they were trained in the military. And they killed people in the military. And everybody who goes in the military comes out with psychological trauma. And they see everybody as the enemy. They can't help it. And what do they want to do when they get out? They want to go be the police. They're going to defend us. These are psychologically terribly disoriented people who used to be in the military but now are in the police. Or still in the military. And they're defending us. They're protecting us. Insane people are protecting us. Insane people. Now they have cameras on police. And you watch the camera and they stop this lady, and they drag her out of the car. Why didn't you answer me? Don't talk to me. Don't talk back to me. Don't look at me. The police is freaking nuts. You got to look at that stuff because that is what's being unveiled. The fact that we're surrounded by the opposite of what is true. We think we're being protected by the military, but we're not. They're going to blow us out of the planet. They're going to nuclear us. They're going to shoot us. Yeah, if we do something really wrong, they're going to come to our city and shoot us. Trump proved that. Mess with me and we'll come and shoot you with protectors. Protectors. Yeah. It is one big lie. A really big lie. Yeah. And that influence has to do with these rays, and the rays have to do with the fact that we only have so many rays in our vehicles, but yet we have 7. We have 7 rays that we can use in our vehicle. Yeah, they look like that. 7 rays. They're there, but everybody's unhealthy. Yeah. So what happens if these rays are going down? What does that leave us for rays? The bottom rays. The only rays that we're going to be connected to. Doesn't include the heart. It's below the heart. That means we only get 3 rays. Wow, that's going to make us smart. We're going to find a way out of this stuff. We're going to end wars. We're going to politically help people choose not to have guns and help mothers and fathers not buy guns and leave them around for kids so that they can take them to school and shoot everybody. Yeah? You know, chances are with this amount of rays and in this position, we don't have a chance in hell, people. Not a chance in hell. Not a chance. Not a chance. Yeah. The only way out of it is by taking these initiations. Entering that little tiny hole. Where you see Animal Man, that's got to go up there to that other hole. Yeah? That represents humanity. And that's a wide-ass circle. It's a very wide circle. It's the whole of humanity and reincarnation and the evolution of animals who incarnate as human beings. Incarnate as human beings. Because this whole planet is an angel. It's an angel. Yeah? If you ever read the Bible, the real Bible, the actual Bible, it would have the keys of Enoch in it. It would have the story of Enoch. And in that, you would know that Enoch, in his length, his feet touch the earth, the tip of his head touches the moon. That's a person, people. That's a person. Can we even conceive that? I'm trying to explain to you giants. And yet, the angel, yeah, that runs the whole muck is that big. That big. Yeah? So that means the body of the earth, the body of humanity, the body of our moon, the body of our solar system is the body of Metatron. It's the body. Yeah? So that's where our opportunity sits. These 7 rays sit in the Lord. They sit in the Lord. Yeah? So when we look at this, we're only dealing with these 3 lines that go up to the second initiations. There's 3 lines that go up. They go up. Yeah? That creates what's known as the antahkarana. Yeah? The antahkarana changes us from having downward connection of those chakras that are reaching these lower chakras, and we all believe, you know, because we think stupid thoughts, because we all agree in thinking stupid thoughts, we have a 5th ray sacral center. And it's you'll put me on a cross for going against your 5th ray sacral center. Yeah? And you'll throw me, you know, back on that cross every single day if you had the opportunity, if I move the 7th ray to where it's supposed to be. Yeah? Because that means that you would have, as a healthy base center, you'd have the chakra of the 4th ray, which is the entire earth. The vibration, the holiness, the sacredness, the holiness of the fact that this is an angel. And you can't separate it. You can't go, oh, well, that's an angel. No, that's an angel. No, that horse is an angel. No. I think maybe that person really pretty, that's an angel. That's got to be an angel. Ooh, look at that curly hair. That's got to be an angel. Ooh, look at that guy. He is so muscular. Got to be an angel. Yeah? We think like that. But it's not like that. Yeah? We're in the body of God. We're in the body of God. And we're using these 7 rays because the vehicle of Metatron makes manifest an upward, compassionate reincarnation bodhisattva vow of going to earth and manifesting upwardly from birth to the next year, to the next year, to the next year, to the next year. And by the time he's 30 years old, he's already passed his 4th initiation. And the whole earth is recapitulating this power of light that is administrating the planet of evolution single-handedly as a bodhisattva. Just by dying and reincarnating and instilling into the earth the reincarnation of the earth's angel. The earth's angel. Yeah? Which means that earth angel is the mother, is the father, and the son. Yeah? But the church will, But then we got to realize, that lady, she didn't conceive him. He conceived himself. So he was his own mother. Whoa. Where does that leave Mary, huh? And Mary Magdalena, didn't they have some kind of sexual relationship? Wasn't that special? There was nothing other than a relationship that people have with Christ. Yeah? And there's no, you cannot identify what that is, what that's like. You got to really get to know me. Because I live a long time. I incarnate for hundreds of thousands of years. And I never lose my consciousness. Yeah? At 9 years old, I completely recapitulate. By the time I'm 12, I'm so high. In my level of initiation, I am the higher level of a 2nd degree initiate, which is the smartest person on planet Earth. Einstein looks like a little zealot, a tiny idiot that's trying to work things out. Oh, I wonder why there's gravity. Really? I mean, really. Through my first, going into my 2nd, by the time I make my 3rd, by that time I'm nearly 20 years old. 21. And I'm way beyond Einstein. I'm standing in the steps of Jesus the Christ. I'm the highest living incarnate on the planet. And I'm 21 years old. And I'm making hippies and I'm making love into the world. And I'm redistributing the way in which we look at things because I'm adding rays into humanity. Because I'm incarnated. I can do this. All I got to do is sing. All I got to do, I need my band. So I created an enormous amount of rock and roll groups. I created rock and roll just so I can sing. I created radio so I could sing with my band. I created records so I can bring my band with me and sing with them whenever I want. All those were personal needs, but you all got them. But that's what a bodhisattva does. A bodhisattva is a master of all these different rays. They're an artist, they're a musician, they're a singer, they're a healer, they're wise, they're understanding. They have all these abilities that comes mastery from every single ray. So by the time, I'm reaching my 4th initiation, I have mastered at least 5 of the rays. 5 of the rays, and there's only 2 more. And that influence is what brings humanity upward. It causes humanity to go up. It's a magnetic influence. The science of God. Redemption. Because everybody's complaining and committing suicide. More people are shooting themselves and committing suicide than anything else. More people are buying guns and doing all that kind of shit than any other place. Right here in my own home base. Why? Because I aggravate the shit out of people. I aggravate people. If there is evil on this earth, I want it to surround me. And I want it to purge and shoot each other and hit each other and piss on each other if that's what they feel like. Yeah? I want there to be a whole Republican process of these Republicans out there that are all KKK and no longer behind the scene, right out in the open. I want it to express. That's what Christ does. He draws it to them because these are the lunar lords of the world. Yeah? Trump and Michael Jackson and some of the evilest gurus, Sai Baba, Muktananda, Bhagwan, all came here for what? For what? Yeah? Because I brought him here. I literally brought him to my backyard so I didn't have to drive too far. Yeah? I even got invitations from these guys. And they were the biggest fake gurus on the planet, and I drew them right to my doorstep. And the weirdest thing is that they would die when I knock on their door, or I meditated with one of them and he dies that very minute. And I go to another one who I get an invitation to go and meet, Muktananda. I get up to his door, I knock on the door, his disciple comes to the door and says, crying, "My guru just died." Oh, really? Sorry. Oh, well, I didn't expect this, but it is happening. Stuff like this is going on. I have noticed, So I went in, I washed dishes, I cooked for people for 3 or 4 days, I did karma yoga, and I left. And then I got an invitation from Bhagwan. Yeah? And I go to his house. And he literally, his wife comes to me and says, "I need you to talk to Bhagwan. I'll tell him you're coming." Sheila comes to me, the head of the thing. She comes to me, "Oh, I know all about you. You're healing everybody in our group. You're such a good guy. Could you please talk with Bhagwan? He needs your help." "Oh, yeah, okay. Let's go." And she goes, "I don't know who you are, but you're very holy." I'm just going, Jesus, you're not ready for Jesus, that's for sure. And he thinks he's me. He thinks he's Buddha Maitreya, and that's not a good thing, So I go there, drive there. I go to his place. I get my little piece of paper. I show it to the security. They go give it to Bhagwan, and Bhagwan has a nervous breakdown. He doesn't die. He has a nervous breakdown. And he chooses never to speak again. That's better than dying, But then, within less than a month, in comes federal agents, and Sheila runs, and the whole thing collapses, and he's in prison. Hello. I guess judgment comes in different ways. Yeah, in different ways. But I have witnessed that nobody escapes. Nobody escapes. Yeah? Whether it be through the body of disincarnation, and then try and reincarnate. Nah, we're too close. If you look at this right here, the hierarchy has made it into the principle of the first initiation, which means we are way up here. We always have been way up there on top, way up there with God, way up there with the 7 rays, way up there in heaven. Yeah? But to be able to bring this down into earth, and create the temple, create the sanctuary, create the vibration, that it would allow humanity to receive active intelligence of the Holy Spirit, and then they would begin to cooperate. They'd start seeing visions, having dreams, having ideas. Stupid people having ideas can really make a difference, really make a big difference. Yeah? Yeah. So through those initiations, we pull people up through reincarnation. Yeah? As time goes on, we get to a place to where a majority of people, a large number of people, now imagine, since the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, we had large masses of highly gifted people incarnate, whether it be Tesla or Einstein or rock and roll. All the people of rock and roll, from Elvis Presley to Buddy Holly to you name them, the Holy Spirit is what got them. And they had one extra ray, and it was the heart. And the hippies came out going, we're seeking love. We have this thing called the heart. We have the soul. We are seeking soul. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're doing. Yeah. So all of this process is giving people rays where they don't have them. They're coming out of the animal kingdom into animal man, manifesting into humanity. And in humanity is a guy called Jesus. A guy called Jesus. And he's running around shaking the hands of people, whether it be the Dalai Lama or whoever is alive at the time, and changing people so that when they reincarnate, they become initiates or they don't come back. Yeah, this goes on and on and on. Been going on for 2,000 years. Yeah. So as Padmasambhava, I go through processes of externalizing and ending evil in Tibet, and I began a process of creating all kinds of ways to create sanctuary on the planet, showing how stupas are built and what a mandala of Shambhala is about and what is Shambhala and how is the Kali chakra a relationship. These are 2 more chakras. 2 more chakras. Yeah? 2 more. Yeah? That means that we get the throat center, Padmasambhava. We get the throat center that connects to the sacral center, the incarnation of Padmasambhava. Yeah? We get the heart that goes into the solar plex, allowing Lamaism to manifest. This is discipleship. Guru worship. Guru worship. But it requires people to have that other ray. Not just the Holy Spirit up here and the heart here. Yeah? But the awakening of the brow starts to happen. And that's Buddhism. That's Buddhism. Yeah? That's where everybody realizes in their higher Buddhaic state that they're not here as a waste of time. That the time they spent here by being patient, yeah, is their service. But being impatient is a disservice. It's that simple. It's that simple. And that's what the 4th ray does. If the 4th ray is there and solid, connected there, you are abundantly patient. You are abundantly understanding. You bring balance where there is disharmony, where there's war, aggravation, a lack of understanding, any of that. All gets cleared up by this brow sitting there, because the 4th ray goes back down to the base, and it becomes our nature to cooperate telepathically with each other. That we're under the law of love. That we behave in a humane way. We throw guns away. We stop war. We're humane. Yeah? But this requires Buddhism. Yeah? This requires, disciples. It's not just humanity. We look around humanity and we see this process. We see this big circle here. And that big circle is active intelligence. And it's not until you get to that next circle up, which is the first initiation, which means there has to be a point where you die and reincarnate either in your body or in another body. Yeah? And that's the second dot up here. Yeah? And if you keep coming back, you keep coming back, and you keep coming back, you end up in that dot. Yeah? Because the life you're serving in is happening because of your simple humanitarian reality. It could take thousands of years for this to add up. That's what the Kali chakra means. Yeah? Every single bit of our virtue and quality and karma becomes dharma in the end. Yeah? It's the active intelligence of the chakras that we are actually distributing without receiving. We won't receive until much later when we receive higher initiations. Yeah? So we get to that, and you see these 3 lines that are going up into the second initiation. Over there it says, antahkarana is represented by the upright line from the initiate all the way to the Christ. All the way to the Christ. Yeah? So there is no other teacher. When a person becomes a first degree initiate, he doesn't get Sally or Joe. He doesn't get a person who helps him along the way. He doesn't get a minister. He doesn't get a nun. He doesn't get a priest. Yeah? You get Christ. If you're not introduced to Christ, you're in hell. And they're lying to you. Because the only one that's going to take you up this ladder is Christ. Because it leads you to him on a throne. And when you first meet him down here, you meet him as a person. You meet him as you question the teaching, you question the Dharma, you go through this process, you make it to the second initiation, then you make it to the next initiation. These processes can be very dramatic. Yeah. This higher one, where you're going from the second all the way up to Christ. Now, Christ is sitting up here all the time. All the time. Whether I'm taking a shit, eating, drinking water, or dying in my last breath, I will always be in that position. Always be in that position. And when I come back, I am in that position. Whether I'm a baby looking for a breast, yeah, or I'm a 5-year-old hoping I don't go to school, yeah, because this shit, I know it comes upon me. I had to deal with that in this life. Imagine Jesus Christ going to kindergarten. Imagine what that was like for me, what it was like for me to go to first grade, second grade, read these books, boy. I couldn't read at all. I couldn't see the letters. I couldn't put them together because they were filled with lies. Yeah. Way up here in this initiation, this is called the soul. Yeah. So Christ himself is the soul. Yeah. And at the very beginning process, that very first initiate that you receive, that you get connected to, in that first relationship, that you're trying to make manifest, for your, going from first initiation up, that right there is the antahkarana, which represents Christ in energy. So that would be an etheric weaver, a sacred site, a sacred object, planet Earth, your previous life. Yeah? They're all relics. Yeah? Does that make sense? Relics this is what I'm explaining to you is incredibly important. Yeah? And everybody wants to jump ahead. Everybody wants to think, I'm already at this place and I'm alive, I'm breathing, I must be doing great. And you are, trust me, because I am the one who's in charge. From the moment of your breath, the first breath you take when you're incarnated, who you're going to incarnate with, all the things you're going to do in your life, me. Yeah? And all the things and all that is established with free will. So I have very little to do with it. Even though you get the grace of incarnating in the human kingdom. You get the grace to get there. Yeah? And then you're let free to do whatever you want to do, because you need to find that you're not an animal. You are a human who needs to learn to become humane. Yeah? And that allows you to take that energy of the active intelligence that's blessing you all the time from the moment you took a body from an animal into a human. And a human is a non-existing entity. It's created in the likeness of God. It's an emanation of God. It's not an existing entity like an animal or a plant or other things. Those are all aspects, attributes. Yeah? But the human being is an emanation. An emanation is a very different thing, there's so much to learn in this process for you to gain, really what I've got to explain, But here we are, you're in Christmas Eve, so I'm very moved to try and help you understand that what Christ has to do with you, has to do with this planet, and how you're going to get there, yeah? But there is something not so good that's going to take place, If we look back in the history, Moses said, wow, we got to go 40 years in the desert. That's going to suck. 40 years, people, that's a long time. Yeah? And then way deep into it, he finally has a contact with God. And God says, thank you very much. Now I need you to keep these commandments. If you can get to this place, which would be a second initiation, now I need you to take these commandments because you need to facilitate humanity to become humane. And they need to live within the laws of love. So these are the rules to the laws of love on how human beings behave, how they interact. So that's a blessing given, and the way it was taken, it was hardship for those people. Hardship. Yeah? And then here comes, another guy, on the same ladder, he's under the same lineage, of Adam going down the line of lineage incarnations. Yeah? And we get Enoch. Yeah? We get Methuselah. Yeah? We get Noah. Well, shit, what happened when Noah came along? Noah goes, hey ho, God's going to destroy the earth in a flood. Oh, really, Noah? Yeah, for sure. I know this seems strange, but he's also telling me how to build a boat that I can put all these animals and human beings and things in it that we can contain life on earth once the flood has come and it's over with and everybody's dead. Big smile. Hey, whoa, you mean we're going to die like that? Yeah, it's horrible. It's really horrible. And God really wishes you would have changed. But you didn't, And there's been many incarnations since Adam leading up to this point. And this is one of the children of Adam, the great, great, great grandchild of Adam. And he's going, what can I say, Where we come from, we talk to God. And amongst us is Christ. And that was Enoch. And that was Adam previously. And in the next incarnation, way down the line, is Enoch. Yeah? And Enoch literally has to leave his body, be taken up with angels, and manifest into who he really is, find out that he's the Archangel Metatron. Yeah? And see the workings of every single angel and their relationship to the evolution of the plan. You got to witness that. Well, that can affect you greatly when it comes down to the empowerment that you can put upon this earth. When your feet are touching the earth and your head is touching the moon. And all the cycles of ceremony that happens around that come from Metatron. Yeah? And this is Metatron. This is a being who, when he was taken into heaven, he grew to that size. He literally grew to that size. So we have within our etheric field this being that stands on earth, whose head touches the moon, and is our Lord. And we call him Jesus the Christ. Yeah? So in incarnation, we see Jesus the Christ, the baby. And that's Christmas. That's the symbology of Enoch, the symbology of the Lord of the world. Yeah? That he comes as a human being. Yeah? It has nothing to do with me being born on December 25th. I wasn't born on December 25th. I was born in July. Yeah? I wasn't born on December 25th. But the litanies was established thousands and thousands of years ago for this cycle of manifestation to create the office of Christ on earth so that people could say the words and receive the blessings and slowly but surely, year by year, anoint themselves to the antahkarana. The antahkarana. So they would do the litany and they would make a prayer and they would do 21 days or 25 days of invocation, evocation, connecting themselves to Christ and his office, coming down to earth to kick the shit out of Satan and kill him. Kill him. We're not talking about saving his ass. We're not talking about bringing him back as a great archangel. We're talking about turning him into a black hole. Everything in matter matters. Everything in matter matters. And black holes have purpose. They have purpose within the universe. It is the opposite of the light. It is the opposite of magnetism. It is the opposite of the atomic influence in matter. Yeah? But it's also the center point of a cosmos. Yeah? A galaxy spins around a black hole. And that doesn't mean evil sits in the center of the black hole, but there is use, functional use of a black hole. And that's where fallen angels go. Not into matter, nowhere in matter. Not in space, not matter, not hang them under the earth, not dig a big hole and put a bunch of rocks on top of it. No. Black holes exist for a reason. Yeah? And then it goes up to the reality of matter, where we do reincarnate and we do get water and we have miracles. We have slowly but surely more and more miracles manifesting on earth because the Dark Lodge, the demons, the forces of witches and warlocks and false prophets can't come back. And that happens because of this. When we look at this process where the animal kingdom is there and the animal man is there, well, guess what? There is a process in reincarnation for people to be disconnected from the life force that brings them into the human realm. That's why dogs don't just reincarnate as human beings. Yeah? And people and animals stay quite separate. Yeah? And other animals stay quite separate. There is an extreme separate field of kingdoms built in relationship to this process. They're called kingdoms. And you cannot exit a kingdom once you're in it. You serve that kingdom. Everything serves that kingdom. Whether you're an insect, dirt, gas, water, whatever it is, it's down here. It all comes from the waste of the animal kingdom. Yeah? It comes from the influences of the energy that is degenerating, falling apart. Yeah? The trees that go off into fire. Yeah? The change of oxygen, on the planet. All of that makes change, and all of that creates the opportunity for the animal kingdom to enter the human kingdom without there being all this stuff, which requires all these kingdoms below to sacrifice and make the kingdom above, which has to be pure oxygen, clean water, pure animals, not a bunch of dragons and, piss-ass demonic spirits in animal form, but like birds and butterflies and cows and chickens. Yeah? Because you are what you eat. And we are putting back into the animal kingdom empathy and compassion and transfiguration. So what used to be a great big dinosaur is now a little tiny bird. Yeah? And the whole thing has changed in relationship to how we can reincarnate in this process. So human beings are going to go through a process to where we don't have to put up with lunar lords anymore. The kingdoms below are prepared for the transfiguration of souls. Yeah? That's a very different thing. Where before we'd be stuck here. Imagine we didn't have many people who were second degree initiates. We had hardly anybody who was a third degree initiate. So in order to transfigure, bring these people back into their animal, where they're always animals. They're running around as animals. There's no difference between them and the animal. Yeah? The only thing, imagine here we are in the lawless world that we're in. You make laws based on hate and fear, and then you continue them. And we're 100 years in and we're still considering these laws and holding on to them like this thing we need to do. And they're not. Yeah? We're set in accordance to our consciousness and our ability to change. and let go of certain things and not have alcohol as our interest to where we don't need laws in order to create the end of that. Yeah, people through their consciousness, they go through this change. Yeah, so in consciousness, this elevating consciousness that comes from the antahkarana here, that's coming down into humanity, hits active intelligence, and it begins to transfigure people's impurity. It's the Holy Spirit that does that. Yeah, and that's what creates an etheric weaver to be an etheric weaver, just an etheric weaver. And you wonder, whoa, etheric weaver, it heals people, it does miraculous things. How can that, of all things? And I take the kingdom of the mineral kingdom and raise it all the way up to Christ and bless it. Yeah, that means it includes every animal in every kingdom going all the way up. So now all those animals could be blessed by these things. Whether it be water that I bless, they can be blessed by that. They can be blessed by food. They can be blessed by that, as long as I bless it. As long as I bless it. Because everything can receive the antahkarana. Because they lack the rays. I have the rays. And I alone can give the rays. And I alone can take the rays away. And I don't make any choices to take rays away. It happens naturally. Happens naturally. If you fall into glamour and create an impure field around me, your rays will go back on you like karma. And you will be in such a terrible state. Your mind will go mad. Your emotions will go mad. You will die. And that's just because you messed with holiness. You don't mess with holiness. It's the law we're moving into. We're barely there. We must make it solid. We have to make it solid. For you to get it solid, you need these teachings. You need to understand these teachings. Yeah? Why these teachings work the way they do. Because there are false prophets out there that are affecting people in their animal-man relationship. This process of matter and the process of humanity and the animal kingdom. This is a kingdom. Yeah? And then we have the human kingdom, which is above that. And then above that is the kingdom of the soul. Yeah? So this is all about developing the kingdom of the soul and creating a reality, a real reality, where the kingdom of the soul exists, which means every single thing must be blessed. And if it can't be blessed, it must go away. It must. And it will. Yeah? I don't care if it's a city. I don't care if whatever it is. If it's not meant to be, if it doesn't serve, and 100 years, 200 years, 300 years from now, it does serve because it was purified. And it was allowed to go back to nature. It was allowed to go to the process that it was meant to be. Because we just grab everything. We take Florida and we build it up like it's a city. It's a marsh, people. It's a marsh with alligators. Come on. What are you doing? Yeah? Yeah, Georgia, Mississippi. What are you doing? They flood all the time. You got to build high. Look at the American Indians. They built their city high, and all their wiki-ups and all their teepees was really high, like 50, 60, 70 feet above ground. Yeah? So that when the water came, it didn't wipe everybody out. They lived there normally that way. Yeah? Well, we can't think like that. We do not have those qualities moving us in the way that we need to. And that's when the seventh ray is in the sacral center and the third ray is in the throat. The Holy Spirit comes into us. And it tells us, get the shit out of here. There's a bomb. There's a bullet. There's a madman. You're going to be raped. All those things that happen every single day, you have it in you to know it before it happens and leave. You have it in you. That's your first freaking miracle. Karma. Karma. How do you get to be in the right place at the right time and know it? It's always, I'm not sure. Should I go left? Should I go right? What the hell's going on? Oh, I'm so nervous now. You can't have that happen. You could be dead any second. Yeah. And you all die this way, Yeah. So it's a good lesson to learn how not to go through that process. Because if you beat out death, when death is coming on that day it was going to be your day of dying, and you beat it out because the Holy Spirit blessed you. Blessed you. People, that's a calling. That's a calling. That means that Christ reached into your life and called upon you, grabbed your shoulder, maybe even sat next to you and said, let's go someplace. Follow me. Yeah. And it's always me. Yeah. Whenever they say, who was there? Well, he looked like Jesus. Yeah, they're right. Yeah. Maybe one day I might be a little gruffy, other day I have shorts on, another day I have a shirt on. I don't know what's going on that day. I just happen to show up. Yeah. But that's the omnipresence, the science that's in this. This is the science. It's the science of God that gives us the miracles that we will have, but not in the kingdom of humanity. Not in the kingdom of humanity. We must reach the kingdom of the soul. Yeah? And that's what the litanies is all about. Yeah? That's why I'm here. That's why there's Christmas tomorrow. And you all get presents. Because I'm a really nice guy. It's not about me in the way that you might think. Yeah? It's about you. And you need to feel better about yourself. Yeah? You didn't get that hug. You didn't get that boyfriend. You didn't get that girlfriend. You didn't get that job. And maybe you did and you're still unhappy. Yeah? Maybe you got exactly what you want, but you're still depressed. Yeah? That's what Christmas is about. That's what every day is about. Every day is anointed. Every day is a holy day. There's no such thing as a holiday. Every day is a holy day. Christmas is to remind you that every day is a holy day. Yeah? And that we worship the reality of holiness. Yeah? And we got to come to that without it being, now we need to go Christmas, now we're all like knee-jerking, Christmas, we got to go shopping, we got to get all these things, Easter's coming, I got to get our eggs, chocolate eggs, I'm going to get our shit together, here comes Satan's magical wand, now we're going to do, Halloweeny, so yahoo, let's put on our scary mask and be the person we're not, and manifest. And these are all qualities of our way of dealing with a lack of holiness in our ceremonial life. We make up life that are ceremonies, but they're there to create glamours, karma. Yeah? You're going to get indebtedness. Yeah? I mean, here you are, you're in the middle of a plague, and you got to carry out Christmas. Go out, get out, and people are dying in the hospital. Get out, go buy some more groceries, All of that is our process that comes from the lack of having the kingdom of the soul. Yeah. So just knowing Christ's Mass, they say Christ Mass, and yet in the mind of a lacking holy mind, it's party time. That's what Christ Mass means. It's party time. We have office, Christmas party, and we have, it's time to have fun, get real drunk and get a lot of presents and, and then make a New Year's resolution. I'm never going to do that shit again. I can't believe I did that. Got my boss's wife pregnant. That's just not going to go over well in this job, And it happens all the time. Yeah? We have no idea where our lack of control in life is at. Yeah? And you need the Holy Spirit manifesting that seventh ray, just that your first initiation will change your life forever. But you got to be willing to take it. I mean, look at all this. There's so much more to do. Look at all this. This is right here in humanity. You have to step up and allow Christ to make you an initiate. Yeah? And be moved by transfiguration of all your chakras and all your body and all your fears into a second degree initiate. And this can happen over a 7-year period. That's a very short period of time. Yeah? The moment you are reborn, your initiations will continue flowing. Unless you die. Yeah? Then you reincarnate, and then you recapitulate, and you come back with a pure body, with a pure mind, with pure emotions, and a pure ability of, my ambition and what my desires might be. All those kind of things are not so self-centered. Yeah? So that's what reincarnation does. It allows us, where we're going to receive this soul, but imagine, in our truth, we already got it. We are reincarnating. If you are reincarnating, that's because of the soul. Christ has you in his hands. Yeah? If I can get you to witness reincarnation, then you will witness the holiness of life. Yeah? You'll include Christ. You'll include the hands of Christ around you 24/7. Try doing something wrong once that happens. Yeah? Well, I'm not talking guilt. I'm not talking, did I do a wrong thing? You will know for freaking sure you did a wrong thing. Yeah? And it will come back around very quickly because wisdom will increase inside of you. And your lack of ability to change, metamorphically change your emotional and your mental attitude will happen. You don't have a choice in it anymore. Yeah? Because you've been given a blessing of having another chakra, and that's your heart. Where everybody's attacking you, everybody's tearing you down, all life is screwed up, and then you die, you can definitely lose your heart in that process. Yeah? So in this, you're receiving your heart from way on high, from Christ. Yeah? And that comes into your vehicles and brings you all the way up to the soul. And that guarantees your reincarnation, but it also guarantees the process of judgment toward darkness. Yeah? So that process of judgment means that this circle you see right here, and that circle you see that leads up to the first initiation, is a circle of death. That's called the dweller on the threshold. Yeah? If you come near that, yeah, and you try and get through it, you will kill yourself. Yeah? And you'll probably take a lot of other people with you in the process. The abundant impurity inside of you is too much, and you'll be taken out. Yeah? So there's no way of getting into it without a very specific means, like meditation, etheric weavers, Shambhala, all of that represented on earth, so that we get a sacred zone, a sacred site, sacred energy comes out of an object, and you're an object. So that science has to be manifested in your life so you yourself can receive the light as part of the healing of the world. Personal planetary healing. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah? So what happens is that after a while, this growth process, and this happens quickly because there were billions of people that incarnated when I did. It was the largest mass group incarnation in history. Was my incarnation. Yeah. And a good 80% of those people were saints. They were cleaned up well before they got into this incarnation. They were all given masterful qualities from my previous life. Yeah. So we were able to work together, create rock and roll, create industries, create the, Silicon Valley, create computers. I mean, everything. Everything on Earth today is from us. Yeah? From this new group of world servers that manifested with me. And they increase this circle to close that circle and push downward. Yeah? A process where false lunar lords are discerned and discriminated. No longer are they voted for, but they are imprisoned, caught, judged, while alive. Yeah? Where we may not get Maxwell 100%, we may not get the guy that came with her, we may not get Trump 100%, but trust me, over the next 20 years, we will get every single one of them. And they will all go down that tube and never come back. Ever. They go right down that tube. And if you're as dark as you are, the darker you are, the darker you go. It's a reflection. The law is set. And when the chakras come in, and we get more than just the heart, and we actually get that Holy Spirit, then all of a sudden, we wield power that's beyond your wildest imagination to close the gates of the astral plane. When the gates of the astral plane are closed, that means everything that created the astral plane is purged from existence. Purged from existence. Yeah? And that could be millions and millions and billions of people that we think, they're just here and they're all going to come back, I mean, how are you going to get rid of Michael Jackson when he used to be Hitler? How are you going to get rid of Trump, when he used to be Mussolini? I mean, holy shit, reincarnation is bad. True, it is. Because it's a natural process inside the human factor in relationship between the human and the animal and God. We do reincarnate. Whether you're evil or you're good, you reincarnate. Yeah? But that law is changing dramatically because the law of the hierarchy is greater than the law of the darkness. And when that happens, the astral plane, which is those fake laws that allow Dark Lodge individuals to continue reincarnating. It allows the Dark Lodge reality of Lucifer, Satan, Ar-Haman, the relationship of Azazel, Beelzebub, and all of the rest. They don't exist anymore. Yeah? They're infused into nothingness, zero. They go with God. And God is infinitely nothing. So that's how they get into the Dark Lodge, is that they actually are released from God at the time, when they fell. They create a Dark Lodge. Yeah? But that's their darkness. Yeah? And that darkness comes to an end when humanity turns on them and changes the entire spectrum of what is attracted to this earth. Yeah? And we don't attract extraterrestrials, we don't attract lunar lords, we don't attract giants, we don't attract demons. Yeah? This earth can be completely cleansed. Because every ounce of this earth, every speck of the ocean, every single rock on this earth is going to be blessed. It's going to be blessed by all of you. The millions and millions and millions and billions of people who will continue reincarnating through the initiations, and the astral door closes, and humanity reaps what it is they're meant to reap. Yeah? Which is a blessing every time they eat, and not cancer. Yeah? Which is consciousness of what they should eat, and not guilt. Yeah? Which is a vital body that stays healthy at all times and barely touches the ground. Stays in a state of leviton. There's a thing in angels. We have this thing called leviton that most people don't have. And that's an element, yeah? An elemental that lives within our vehicles. And when we get leviton, we get levity. We get joy. We get peace. We get bliss. The antahkarana flows. And we get elemental abilities that immediately changes gravity and the influences that gravity has on us. like old age, disease, destruction, all these many things that are affecting all things don't affect the hierarchy and the vehicle of the hierarchy that is built in the etheric field and resonates with light. Yeah, pure light. And that light has sound, vibration, color. It literally can take a rock and turn it into clay. And then it comes back into a hard rock. You've seen all kinds of masters put their hands on a rock and they pull their hand away and all of a sudden there's an impression on the rock. They put a foot on a rock and it does the same thing. That's because as a master, you're one with the object and you are nothing with anything. You're nothing. So when you touch something, your levity, your bliss, the higher quality of your ability of ascension touches the ground, touches the object that you're touching. And it ascends too. It's no longer what it was. It's now malleable. Just like you are. You are exactly what God wants you to be. Not a thing out of place. Not a thing. Yeah? The further you go into that, the more and more it becomes that. Yeah? And that's how we stay in bliss. That's how we close that door of the astral plane. Yeah? So imagine by the year 2035, we're going to go through quite a process. Yeah? Because we have all these people that I said that incarnated with me, and they're all in their process of leaving their body right now. Right now. Yeah? We're in our 70s and we're in our 80s. Yeah? Many of us left when we were in our 30s because they were the real saints, and that's the hardest thing. You take on more impurities, you take on more things, accidents happen like you can't imagine, and you're gone. Yeah, and you come back, but you're not the same person. You can't fulfill the exact same process because it's not about you. It's not about Elvis Presley coming back and being Elvis Presley again. He was that because God needed Elvis Presley. And when he goes back into being just who he is. Whoever he's going to be, God chooses him to be. How he looks, how he behaves, his entire life. Yeah? So when we went through what we've gone through, all the things that we've gone through are awakening aspects inside of saints that have happened on earth, including, like Bill Gates, even Amazon, Elon Musk, all these people that are so this is mind-boggling. How could all of this be going on in so many numbers? If we only had one or two of these people, we'd be super blessed. But we have them everywhere, on every continent. They're all over the place, because they have died earlier and they came back. And they were already saints when they left, and they were rock and roll saints. They were like, what? On fire. Then when they came back, they were engineers, technicians. Jobs. Imagine, all of that is the process of our reincarnation. We go through this process of ceremonial magic. We bring the seventh ray into order. That would be music, right relationship, things that we need in life. Like, we need a laptop. What makes you think that? Oh, we need a watch that talks to our laptop. What makes you think that? We need a telephone that is a laptop. What? Wait a minute. What makes you think that? Have you gone mad? Yeah. Really. Totally. Completely. And it is the initiates that are in transfiguration and transformation. And it's these upper initiations. And these are millions and billions of them incarnated, and they are disincarnating now, which means we're going to have the largest mass of angel saints who are third and fourth degree initiates who will recapitulate with engineering designs and abilities to understand the physics of light and quantum understanding. In every way, gravity, space, everything, transcendental time, the whole bit is coming with these people. Or we can't even imagine it because extraterrestrials don't even have that technology. But we do. Because we're the source of this shit. Look back. What's that Great Pyramid for? You will know over the next 20 years when these babies are born. And they come back around and they're talking, and they're anthropologists and they're geologists and they're explaining everything in every degree. They just look at something and they go, did you know that that was a time machine? Did you know that this levitates things? Did you know that this creates an oscillation? They're already born today. Yeah? You can listen to them today. People who are just seeing things and recapitulating what the purpose of those things are in ancient times, millions of years ago. They can see back to millions of years and see the purpose of it. Those are the people that are coming. They bring the past into the present. Yeah? And all the future quickens beyond your wildest imagination. Yeah? Because we enter into the kingdom of the soul. Literally, all the way up into the kingdom of the soul. So these people come back. And the antahkarana is built. Now that antahkarana means that I'm going to have students. I can't have any students until they receive the third initiation. Can't have any, because they're all going, how come I can't heal anybody? How come I still have emotions? How come I still want to bang on people and get upset? How come? Well, that's because you're not pure. You're just not there, man. You got to lighten up. Keep your meditation. Calm down. Take it easy. It's not all right. Yeah? Yeah? But you will get to this place. Yeah? And when you get to that third initiation, then what I have to say to you, it makes sense. Yeah? And you literally have the faith of your first and second initiation that would have gotten in the way of being a lesser initiate, having less understanding, less power, less transfiguration within your vehicles. Yeah? You get to this point, now you can, your mind, my mind, we're clicking. Yeah? And I'm one radically smart guy. Really, really smart. Yeah? Beyond smart. I use light. I use transmission. I use telepathy in order to educate. I use words in order to make things change. Yeah? To decrystallize things, to bring things into thought form building. Just with words, because my words, to me, you literally can see my words inside your head. Not the word itself, but what it is I'm saying. Yeah? You get it. It comes as an image. It comes as an idea. It comes as a fulfillment. And that's because it's literally, it's coming in from the third initiation, which you will be in one day and sometime. Yeah? And when you're in that place, you will receive new instruction. Yeah? Which has to do with healing the nations, meditating, calling upon the nations to change, establishing governments by healing the nations. Well, that could be interesting, huh? Well, this is the healing of the nations, and it's my science. It's what I do. Yeah? But we're a long way from there. I need people to be at the third initiation so I can heal the nations. I'm healing the nations, but it's going to be nothing compared to what's going to happen from this. And this is guaranteed to happen because these people have already come and gone. They've proven themselves. The world has changed. We are driving electric cars because of this. Imagine what that's going to be like if you multiply that by 1,000 times per individual. 1,000 times. They have power to magnificently transform the hate and the anger of an entire continent when you're a third degree initiate. Because I can tell them how to do it. We have meditations, we have ohms, we have mandalas that we focus on. Yeah? And we have this chart. My little chart. Yeah? I have a chart for every single nation and every single state. Yeah? Whether it be the United States or all around the globe, I have charts of everywhere. And I know exactly what the sound is and the mantra that has to be and the kind of person as an initiate it requires to make a change in a nation. Yeah? So that means for Africa, Yeah, this 5-1. That means I have to clear the planet of fifth ray people who have put the fifth ray in the sacral center, bringing these black people into the lowest realm in humanity as an expression. And everybody goes, oh my God, you're so black. You're African. I can't say Negro because it's so bad. You're so bad. I mean, really, come on. And it's because of these rays. It's these rays. Now turn that around. Imagine this 5-1. This 5-1 wakes up. What happens? Well, people, that fifth ray is in the brow. And those people can talk to God. What you call the lowest of the lows are the highest of the highs. You better freaking start straightening up. Yeah. Because it's another world. It's a different world. And the rays are races. And we're a bunch of racists. And that's what causes the nations to fall. Because we're taking these rays for every single nation. We are impressing them upon the people from that nation. And the negative qualities that they represent. Like Australia. Yeah. A 7-ray personality and a 2nd-ray soul. Well, that could be great unless it happens to be a glamour. You know? Then you could have all kinds of prejudices and biases, and your country could be used as a place to throw people who should be in prison. Yeah? A 2-7. The opposite of a 2-7 would be a freaking prison. But that's what Australia was. Yeah? It was a prison. It's a place that you can't leave from. You're there because you're in prison. Yeah? And then China is a 1 soul with a 2 personality. Wow, gee whiz, a 2 personality, that's got to be really great. But what if it's the opposite? What if they're in their glamours? And that 1 soul believes that they are the dictators and the Messiah of the world. The Messiah of the world. Yeah? China. Now study China. They honestly believe that. They believe that they're the oldest empire. They believe that they are the only ones in relationship to God. They have all the mythology. Everything to do with a 1-2. Everything to do with a 1-2. And it shows both the high side and the low side. Yeah? Communism. 1-2. Communism. You wouldn't imagine communism is a 1-2, but communism is a 1-2 when it's in its glamour. It's the highest increase of social control. A 1 and a 2. Yeah? Control over people's hearts and their ability to give and be served, like in socialism or in democracy, which would be a 2 and a 6, or even a 1-2, if it was soulful. Yeah? But if it's not soulful, all the people in that country are under a dictator. First ray soul, focused upon the soul of people. You know, making them into slaves. Same with France, a 5th ray soul and a 3rd ray. And you get art and you get all this stuff that comes out of France. You get all this stuff that comes out of France. But think of this as backwards. What if that's a glamour? What if that's the 5th ray down at the sacral center? And the age of art, the age, the Renaissance period, the 5th ray period. Yeah? It made everybody think, whoa, look at there, he's painting God. Oh my God, I see God now. Oh, Mother Mary, look at there, she's a goddess. Yeah, because he painted her that way. Yeah. And that 5th ray, 3rd ray, 3rd ray, man, that is chameleon. You could turn anything into anything. That's what a magician does. That's what a con man does. And everybody just goes, oh yeah, that's exactly what I want. All these rays are a process that is the responsibility of humanity. Responsibility, and I won't let it go. Yeah? It will work. It has worked before. I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times. All the temples you see were built on this healing, this process of raising the nations up, building the temples there, creating the stonework, the monolithic reality of geomancy. Yeah? aligning the relationship of the angels of heaven to the angels of earth, and connecting a conduit, just like this. All those temples look like this. Does that make sense? Yeah? All it is a tower of initiation, a tower of influence that allows us to receive the hierarchy of heaven, receive every single level that's going on, and balance everything out that's way down here on the lower realm of humanity. Yep. So imagine that the influence that we have over the next, from me, from what I see and my witness, and all the shit that I do, you can't see it because it's invisible. It's telepathy. It's intuition. It's not about the material plane or accomplishments, because I don't sit with, I created the electric car, or I did this or I did that. But I did do that. I did all of that. I did it willfully, and I did it with understanding. Yeah? And it took a lot of time and a lot of patience without taking any credit for it. Yeah? But doing it that way is what makes it into the disciple, because this is guru worship. And the guru is the one leading the plan and has an orchestra that works within that plan. It's a field of energy that works within the realm of human nature. Yeah? And this, when it comes up into the antahkarana, the human being literally builds more chakras than the 7 that they originally were born with. Yeah? They get minor chakras, and they get an antahkarana, an altar major that's right behind the back of the neck that goes up into and creates a crown, where the top of the crown and all the chakras connect together and are locked in forever. Yeah? Once that comes into play, you're an incarnated angel. Yeah? And you always incarnate as an angel. Always incarnate as an angel. So that's why when I incarnate, I'm wise in the beginning. I'm wise, with my dreams, and I have, wise men come to me and wake me up and say, "You're Christ, the Lord of the world, big deal, right? Don't forget now," And I go through this process. Every single life I go through this process. You can see it in Jesus, and the same thing happened in me. Yeah? And it's that antahkarana. It's the influence of all these chakras that come with you when you're born. That's your next chance. That's the opportunity. And that opportunity is not going to be given to lunar lords. So all of them have to be purged from the planet before we enter the higher initiations. It can't be done, simply because you will still channel the influences of the impurity within humanity, who will do impure things to humanity, to the earth, to each other. Yeah? Because they have weird-ass laws built with them under the law of hate. And all that get transformed through the process of people choosing to take that first initiation and enter into the second initiation. And this is like you're a monk and a nun, you're practicing Buddhism, and you're going, "I don't understand anything. Is this working? I don't believe it can be working if I don't understand anything." But it is. It's not about knowing. It's about guru relationship and having faith in the one who does know, who can give you all the teachings to keep you moving through, yeah? But can't just go, poof, you're smart, you get it all, you're so wise. Doesn't work that way, yeah? We have to release the impurities from the earth because we speak for the earth, yeah? It's the earth, it's the universe, it's the cosmos. It's all of love that speaks through us. It resonates as a galactical resonance, yeah? As an enormous love energetic field. Yeah? And we can't exit out of it. It's built within us. Yeah? But we're building it. It's not something that just sits. Obviously, we're in a place that has broken down the initiations and is imperiling the process of initiations So we literally have to come to grips with this is what's going on. And it won't really come into full fluid until the reincarnation of this next cycle. Which is why I say the year 2025, these people, myself, I'll be 75 by that time. Well, a lot of us, we don't do well at 75, And many of them are older than me, 10 to 15 years in the same group. So they're at 90 when I'm at 75, and they're definitely going, So they, if anything, they have 5 to 10 years. All my group has about 5 or 10, maybe 20 years, max, So that means that it's not like, oh no, all the good people are gone. No, they're all coming back as little babies with wiser attitudes, and a whole score of humanity to turn around. Yeah? And that's going to hit really big by the year 2035. Because the deaths begin now. It's at 70 and on. Yeah? So those deaths increase by hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions. A whole planet incarnated at that cycle of time. You know what I mean? A whole planet, whatever country you're coming from, people were born during that cycle of time. We all do this. Yeah? There's no special event that goes on. We all are in cycle, reincarnation. Yeah? So this is that cycle, and as we enter into this cycle, we exit out of one that has been a magnificent first and second initiation for humanity. First and second initiation. We can see it all around us. Yeah? We're getting rid of fossil fuel. We're getting rid of war. We're trying to get rid of people like Trump. And we're all just going, is this really happening? Can someone lie like this all the time and get away with it? I mean, is he going to live through this? Or are we going to catch him? I mean, he rapes people. I mean, come on, Are we going to do anything? Do we have the strength? Do we have the courage? Do we have the heart? And that's what happens in this process, that these people of this group have the heart. So there's an enormous process of these very same people choosing socialism, like a hippie, choosing the right way of thinking toward other human beings, choosing that in their nature. They've been that way for 70 years. Yeah? So when it comes to these processes, their process is to finalize the cleansing before they leave. Finalize the cleansing. Yeah? They got rid of Tricky Dick, They ended so many processes in Vietnam and other wars. Yeah? And now we're going to close this cycle of whether or not a very evil person, a dictator, can come to America or any other country and rule it. Yeah? It's not just this nation. This nation represents every nation. So if we can pull it off here, we pull the plug in every country. Because all the strong from every nation come here. Yeah? So that process, by the year 2035, imagine, you take a look at this, and 2020 is 70. By the time 2030 gets here, it's 80, and most of those people are getting near 100. So we will lose the mass. These are people that are mass. We're talking hundreds of millions of people are going to leave this planet and then reincarnate. So we have to, and these are all people under my tutelage who are destined to reincarnate as saints. Yeah? And have enormous benefits inside them that will be 20 years down the line, future technologies and advancements in way of psychology and geology and geophysics and every possible thing you could ever imagine that isn't even understood today will come into fruition through their lives. Yeah? So that's just by the year 2035, a majority of those people will die and reincarnate, so be in their first year, second year, third year, fourth year, or fifth year. Yeah? 2025. Fifth year of millions and millions and millions of saints reincarnating. Yeah? And then we get to the year 2030. Well, now, 80% of them are gone. 80% are gone. And 80% are back. within 9 to 12 to 15 months. And they're breathing, and they're putting light out, and they're dreaming, and they're connecting with all the people they're going to see in the future. And all the things that are going to manifest in that future are starting to change the world dramatically. And tornadoes slow down, and earthquakes get less, where it gets worse just prior to that time. Because their energy is gone. They're 1 year old, they're leaving their body, they're very, very old. All their vitality is gone. So what they have to give is down to its smallest amount of energy. And we're going to feel that from the year 2025 to the year 2030. And after the year 2030, these people will be between 15 and 20 years old. And they'll be running things. They'll be making new educational formula, reality, physics. They'll be inventing at 12 years old, at 9 years old, at 8 years old. They'll be doing shit we would never even consider. And all this will come as grace. Grace, because it comes from the Holy Spirit deeply going into the sacral center, and the fifth ray going right up into the brow. Every single one of those people will have that fifth ray sitting in the brow and the fourth ray at their base, and they will not be gay. They will not be gay. And that's, right now, we're in the first and second initiation. So that's where you fall. That's where you get empowerments. That's where you get a lot of sexual energy goes on. The seventh ray is waking up. All this stuff is happening. You get into that. But that means that our society would go through that cycle of process. It's a purging. It's not a healthy event. But that ends when these people come back. It ends. They just don't come back being gay. They have none of that going on whatsoever, and it's purified. And then the people who led them to it, the people who raped them, the people who created the situation, they don't come back at all. You don't run into them in the night. You don't run into them as a neighbor. You don't run into them as your brother. You don't run into them as a cop on the street who's reincarnated and the asshole who raped you in your previous life. Nope. You will not run into them. They will not come back. Because you're in the law of Dharma. And Dharma is what keeps you protected. It's the only protection we have. Does that make sense? All right. So let's do Puja. Okay, repeat after me. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of my ashram, soul, and monad. To guide me into the right activity in the plan. To clarify and stimulate my mind. To transform and transmute my feelings and emotions. To energize and vitalize and heal my physical and etheric body. So there is a normal flow of energy in my physical and etheric body. Through this day and every day, I ask this in the name of the Christ to serve the One. All in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So if you think of all the teachings I just gave, and the relationship of those initiations, first, second, third, reaching into the hierarchy and all of that. This puja, this invocation, is aligned to help you understand that this is what you're asking for. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of my ashram, soul, and monad. So that means that you go, hello, Christ, because that's what you're saying down here on the bottom, to serve the one, and you're going, and my ashram, and my soul, and all the love and the wisdom, because these are chakras that you're invoking to manifest into your vehicles, and you're going to get them, because I won't give you anything else. There's not another world I create. I only create one world. I'm not busy doing something else. I'm not interested in Mars. I'm not interested in landing on the moon. I'm not interested in a lot of things. I'm interested in healing this planet and creating this world to the benefit of God. Because I've done it over and over and over again. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this together. So to do this, you have to understand this invocation that I give you. Because this is invoking your relationship to be in the ashram, which means you are capturing demons. If you're in an ashram, guess what? There's no demons there. So that means you must make sure you bring no demons into the ashram. None. By doing that, you're purging out the demons that are trying to get into the ashram. Through people. Just by channeling. And they get here, they come up the road, they come into the room, and they drive you nuts. But as time goes on, they don't get in here. The gates are closed. They have been discerned. And they're not allowed back. And that ends that cycle of demons worshipping a deluded reality within themselves. That they are a value in a spiritual form, that they're like a saint. And yet, in their mind, they have all this evil. They have all this intention. They have all this corruption. They do all these things. But they just hope no one catches them. And they hope I'm not who I am. Because I will bust their ass. And no one gets by me. No one, not one being gets by me. And that's where protection comes in, because you can't discern and discriminate. So you ask for this. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of my ashram, soul, and monad. Why? To guide me into the right activity in the plan. Oh, here comes the demons. Well, how's that going to affect me? Well, I better ask for guidance to clarify and stimulate my mind. Why? Because they're going to get in your mind. And transform and transmute my feelings and emotions, which could turn into hate and hostility, aggression, and a lack of ability to be saintly. To energize and vitalize and heal my physical and etheric body. That allows a person strength, invisible strength. You can't see what's coming out of the etheric weaver, but it's more powerful than the negative energy it's taking on. Yet it's so simple, and it does it so lightly. Because the energy is greater than the astral plane. It's greater. It gets diffused. It doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's a delusion. And then so there is a normal flow of energy in my physical and etheric body. Does that make sense? And through this day and every day, I ask this in the name of the Christ to serve the one, all in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Because, folks, we're at war. And whether you think it or not, you have to make sure you don't channel. And you stay pure and you stay clear. And when the energies do come in and they do attack you, forgive yourself. Give yourself grace. And turn to me. Ask me, what do you think took place? And I'll tell you straight out what the hell just took place. And it'll be very like what you're thinking. And I'll be the only one that's going to tell you what you're thinking. Because the demon is lying like a son of a bitch. And they're using you to be them, so that they can continue going about being evil. Yeah? And everybody just freaks out. They don't know whether the demon's in this person, or is the demon in this person, or is the demon in the whole place. How could we allow this to happen? Yeah? We are allowing it to happen because we need to capture these suckers. Bind them in our own will of calmness and ashram. And don't allow them back. Trust me, I'll be the guy who says whether or not they come back, and they don't come back. Yeah? Forgiveness isn't in the form that you think on this astral plane. Forgiveness is in discernment and discrimination. Yeah? So you forgive the innocent, and you make sure those who are guilty is justified. Yeah? And it comes back on them. They get their shit. They get their karma. They find themselves in league with the devil, and they're all standing there, a bunch of devils. And they're bouncing off of each other going, whoa, I didn't know you were a devil. I didn't know you were a devil. Yeah? That's going to be the future of these people. That they have a self-realization of their own demonic spirits inside them, and they can't get anybody to cooperate with them anymore. No one will believe in them. Yeah? Because they're just a bunch of glamour. Bullshit ideas. Yeah? Aspirations of shit that ain't ever gonna happen. Yeah? Saving the world kind of people. Who's not doing anything to save the world. But they're getting gigs. Yeah? And they want to play in bands, and they want to stand on a stage, and they want a microphone, and they want people to, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Just know that if anybody does come in to receiving a weaver or coming into this place, judgment is at hand. It's over with. Yeah? There is no free ticket. Yeah? This is a hard road. Very hard. Every single person has to go through the process. Every person. I don't care if you're the Karmapa, I don't care if you're a great high saint. You will still have to go to the process, because I'm a lot clearer than they are. Because this world is corrupt. And as long as you're taking an incarnation, your mother, your aunt, your cousin, your fellow disciples will permeate you with judgment. And it will hit you. And it will affect you. Yeah? Even if you're the Karmapa. Yeah? Yeah? So, this is the reason for this. Yeah? Know that you're in a war. You're in a war. And it's not a war of aggression and hollering at people or anything like that. You're in a war knowing that Christ is the only warrior. He's the only warrior. And he's going to deal with it without even coming. He's just going to go, okay, watch this. And the crazy person will go crazy. And then he's judged. Yeah? And it all comes out. It all comes out. That's what I do. Yeah? I externalize shit and make life very hard for people. Yeah? And it's not like that's what God wants. But that's the healing crisis. If you go to homeopathy or energetic medicine, you will get a healing crisis. Yeah? It's natural. Yeah? But it's something you should pray for. Yeah? It's something you should be thankful for. Because it's your virtue that is asking for it. It's your light within that can't be seized by these demons one day longer. And it's over with. Yeah? You come back. You're it. You're it. You're awake. Yeah? And it never goes away. You're a warrior. Yeah? But you first have to learn how to fight. Yeah? It's a land of peace where I come from. This is not a land of hostility, aggression, or anything like that. It's a land of peace. So you have to deal with all of it with putting it back on the guru. Yeah? And step back and know that the guru is in charge of the plan, even the situation at hand. The guru set it up. And the guru is giving you an opportunity to fix your situation. Yeah? Now, if you do it with compassion and understanding and express the truth calmly, everybody will see it. Everybody will see it, and there's no way it can't be seen. Even if it is purged into a hostile act, it will still be seen inside the heart of everyone. Yeah? And the Dark Lodge won't be allowed to come in. Yeah? Because the process of the Dark Lodge is to devalue the light of the hierarchy. Devalue it and make it mundane. Yeah? So they don't ask for permission. They think they have permission to do everything. Yeah? I'll just go drive your car. I'll just go take your car. I'll just, they don't give a shit about anything. They just own everything. They honestly believe they deserve it. It's like white super race. That's what it is. It's superiority. And all lunar lords have this glamour. They all have this glamour. That's what you're aware of. You need to discern, discriminate that, and know, hey, this ain't light. This is glamour. This is danger for everybody. So I'm going to put light on it by calming back, sit back, stay calm. Yeah? Because the only way we're going to change these rays inside the world is by dealing with independent situations spontaneously. Yeah? They all have rays to them, all have opportunities. If you stay within the grounds of Shambhala, you'll have all 7 rays that you get to deal with in opportunity. And they have little to do with human beings. Yeah? It has to do with angels, angelic Devic forces that are on this land. Trees, animals, all the kingdoms that are here are under Devic forces, higher Devic forces. Yeah? They're ancient, millions of years old. Yeah? Right here on this land. Yeah? And if we just live our dharma, live our activities, yeah, then all of a sudden we merge into this very ancient cycle of life. Yeah? And that becomes Shambhala. That orients Shambhala. That heals the nations. It heals everything. Yeah? But we have to receive the blessings from the land that have the 7 chakras. The land has the 7 chakras. I have the 7 chakras too, but the land is me. And the land can't talk. It can be telepathic. It can give you blessings beyond your wildest imagination if you just be in service on the land. Yeah? And then you see a peacock, and you see another peacock, and you go, whoa, this is freaking divine. You see the rainbows coming up around the moon, you go, wow, where would I ever see this? You see the pyramid as you're coming up over the hill, and you just go, God, I can't believe I live here. Yeah? Those elemental forces are Devic and monadic. Those are things to give you memory, give you emphasis around the monadic reality of God on earth. Yeah? And you won't ever experience the 7 chakras unless you're in that reality. Because it's the expression of the monad. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah? So we're all warriors, yeah? But we need to receive our initiations from nature. Yeah? Just like in this, I think this is the one. Yeah, where it says humanity, mother matter. Yeah? That active intelligence is the Holy Spirit of the 3rd ray that created matter in the first place. Created matter. Manifested matter, created animals, separated the heavens from the earth. Yeah? All those things that you read in the Bible, and the creation in every way was done through God's 3rd ray. And he did that because he was the mother of all matter. Yeah? He mothered it. He brought it into birth. He gave it gestation. He placed himself as the ovum. Yeah? And inside that ovum is the Christ. So everybody has within them the bodhisattva. In this humanity, mother matter, active intelligence. Not down at the animal man, but up in the humanity man, where bodhisattva comes from. Yeah, and that's why they always say the influence of Tara, which is the mother matter, is the influence that's found in every living being that radiates directly from Buddha, whether Avalokitesvara. And that's what comes down this Sutrama. It's called the Sutrama, the antahkarana. Comes all the way down into the antahkarana, and that's the manifestation of light in matter. That's why objects and temples and weavers and things like that all can do this super phenomenal thing in relationship to telepathy and healing. Only because matter is the energy principle behind the 7 rays. It holds all 7 rays. I think that's cool. Yeah. So let's do this puja. Okay, just close your eyes and relax.
Om.